Now that we received the unit in from the customer via the RMA, we're ready to perform the repair. So here you can see the scheduler role dashboard, which shows you some work orders to be scheduled, open work orders based on their parts status, anything scheduled out for a week, and work orders by sales rep. So I'm going to scroll back to the top, and I know that my work order was created from a case, and it was case 119, so I can see that one here. So I'm going to head and open that work order. All right, once my work order screen opens up, I can see in bold letters that this work order has not been started yet. So I have some general information such as the name, which is a concatenation of the internal ID and the customer name. I have the organizer, which is whoever created this. It's their NetSuite name. In this instance, it's scheduler. You can mark this as being billable or not. You can have work order type for more reports, and in this instance, it's a repair. If this came from a rental and had a booking reference, you'd see it here. Next, I have just some general customer information pulled from the customer. Then I have some status fields. So I have my work order status, which is not started, which I saw in bold green at the top. Then I have a link to my case, and I can see the case status. Next, I have scheduling, and this is what you saw on the dashboard. So this has not been started. I can put in here if this is going to take all day, the priority, how urgent it is, any projected hours, duration, all of that can be input here, as well as some cancellation fields. Next, I have some details. So this is typically done at the end once the repair has been complete. So the service tech would put the work performed, any notes, comments. And here we have an SM service template, which I'm just going to open this real quick and do a quick overview. So what this does is it adds our parts and tasks. So for a standard repair, you might have 4 or 5 tasks that you always do and a few parts that you always add. So instead of having to add them individually each time, we have a service template. So you can see here my service template has been added, so I can see my 5 tasks and my 1 part. So this is the service template. And then you can see here it has 5 tasks and 1 part. So you can create multiple service templates to help your company process things quicker. All right, now I'm going back to my work order. So I have parts and tasks, which I'm going to come back to that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and schedule this work order to a technician. So on my scheduling subtab, I have an e-calendar button. So when I click this button, it's going to open up the calendar with some filters. So I have it set to filter everything out. I'm going to change my view. I just want to see today and what I can schedule for today. Make this a little bigger. And so I'm going to say submit. And what this does, it pulls up a calendar of the users I have and their workday. So as you can see, Alex Moore and George Constance Flooring, they don't start until 9 a.m. Four Guys Tiling doesn't work on Wednesdays, so their timing is blank. And then here you can see I have this specific work order already assigned to Tile Guys, and this work order already assigned to Alex Moore. So I'm going to assign this to George Constance Flooring. So I'm just going to click on this, and then I'm going to click create and submit. And what that's going to do, as you can see, my work order 1034 has now been assigned to George Constance Flooring starting at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, September 2nd. So that's a quick overview of the scheduling process. So I'm going to leave that page. Now I'm going to go to my parts and tasks. So under my task, I'm going to start just completing some of these. So I'm going to open this. And so my first step is to remove the pump and hoses. So I'm going to pick my user technician, which you can have it defaulted to the current user or whoever it's assigned to. So I'm going to say it was George Constance Flooring. I'm going to say no issue, removed pumps. And this use quantity is how long it took me. So it's supposed to be an hour and a half, but it only took me an hour. And then I'm going to mark it as completed and save. So once I save this task, it's going to take me back to my work order. And I'm going to refresh my screen so you can see that my status, since I've already completed a task, will change to in progress. All right, we can see that. And you can go through and see here the actual hours I used to complete and the notes. So I'm just going to go ahead and complete the rest of these tasks. Doing the same thing, I'm just going to mark them completed and put my use quantity. No notes for now. Now I did want to point out that these are the standard tasks from the service template, so I have one more left. I have my quality assurance sign off. Let's say something was wrong and I needed to go back to a step or create a new step. I can just click my add task button and be able to do that. So I'm going to click this add task and it's going to pull this. So I'm going to use my repair item and quantity of 1, add and submit, and I'll have a new task added with no information on it, so I'll just have to edit this and say here this is going to be re-inspect hose. And I'm going to say, go ahead and say this is completed. And it took me the 1 hour. So that's simply how you can add some task. And I'm going to go ahead and complete this last one. And save. Now that all my tasks have been completed, I'm going to refresh my screen and you'll see that my work order status changed from in progress to completed pending billing, and that completes the work order task portion and scheduling.